Friends, welcome back to our live feed. So again, from time to time we get questions about breathalyzers, about impairment, about the laws governing impairment, and sometimes we have discussions. And so it makes sense for us to have this live feed every Thursday during our lockdown, where we can add more value to the time you spend with us, which we really do appreciate. And just add more value to the service of you being with us and answer some of those questions and have some of those discussions. So last week we did our hashtag blood every 90 for 90, where we made our second donation in our pledge towards 50 donations, and we encourage you, our friends, to join our pledge as well. No matter where you are in Canada, just go to notyourchild.com/give blood. Go and see how you can join us in helping Canadian families. So now for the business of the day. A discussion came up recently with a young man, a very bright young man, very smart, put together young man, about 23, 24 years old. And he said to me, "Hey Julia, if I'm too hammered to drive, I'll just recline my seat a bit and sleep in my car and just sleep it off." So let's unpack that first, shall we? First of all, right off the bat, just like I told him, that's a terrible, terrible plan. And there are a lot of reasons why it's a terrible plan, okay? Now, like our friend, I understand the thinking. I understand that you may think that that's the responsible thing to do, but it isn't. Please know this. You don't have to be driving impaired to receive criminal charges, okay? You could be sleeping in your car or even sitting behind your wheel impaired, and you can still be charged. This is because it's not unreasonable. This is because you are deemed a danger to the public because of the risk of you putting your vehicle in motion, okay? So you have to think about it that way. Clearly, this has a lot to do with where you are in the car and also where your keys are in the car. Now, I will discuss that a little bit further, but my advice to you is to not think of your car as a shelter, okay? That's not your plan, because you will have a warm time proving in court that you would not have and you had no intention of putting your vehicle in motion while inebriated, okay? Now, there are loopholes to everything, and of course, before this video, I actually discussed this with a lawyer friend of mine, and just to make sure that I was on the right track for you. And he said to me, "Julia, if the keys are locked away in a purse or glove compartment, and the person is in the way back seat with a blanket, for instance, or say like with a sleeping bag, away from the wheel and the controls of the car, and the officer taps on his window and found them passed out, they may or may not be deemed a risk of putting the vehicle in motion and a risk to the public. However, anyone, whether sleeping or sitting, found inebriated behind the wheel with a present ability to turn on and drive the vehicle can and most likely will receive charges, as they do pose a realistic threat to the public." And he told me it's called care or control conviction, a care or control conviction. So please don't think sheltering in your car is a great go-to plan. Also, it may be illegal to do that on some city-owned streets. So you see, our friend who was sleeping it off behind the wheel, he really got away by the skin of his teeth many times. But I'm sure now, after our discussion, he will have a better plan of going home going forward. Sometimes people don't know, but ignorance of the law is no excuse. And really, guys, sleeping in your car inebriated to the wee hours of the morning, that isn't safe anyway. Okay, anything can happen. Would you want your daughter or your son doing that? Would your parents want you doing that? That is the litmus test, so don't do it. Also, not because you slept in your car or you feel you slept it off means that you're sober enough to drive, okay? Now, let's say that you're too inebriated to drive and you have called a cab to pick you up, and you want to wait in your vehicle while the taxi comes. Then, here is your checklist. 1, are my keys in the ignition? If so, remove them. 2, am I sitting in the driver's seat? If so, leave it. 3, can I feasibly reach the controls of my car from where I am, even if I fall asleep while waiting for the taxi? If so, move. So, to recap, if you're planning to sleep in your vehicle, don't. That's not a plan. But if because of circumstances beyond your control, you have to wait in your vehicle for a cab, then keep these things in mind, according to my lawyer friend. Don't wait in the driver's seat. Don't keep your keys in the ignition. Put them out of reach. Keep them locked in a bag or a purse or your glove compartment. If it's extremely, extremely cold and you're forced to turn the heat on for fear of hypothermia, that sounds so uncomfortable. That might actually ruin your night. Make sure you leave the driver's seat. Go as far away from the wheels and the controls of the car as possible. Personally, I would still keep my keys locked away unless I was like in sure danger of hypothermia and freezing. But to avoid all of this, folks, as I always say, if you're going to drink, have a plan. Have a plan to go home. Know how you're going to get home safely. And if you are the way home, then you know what you need to do. Monitor your own BRAC. It's your BRAC and your responsibility. And to do that, use one of our handy, regulated, reliable breathalyzers as a part of your plan. And we'll be adding some more to our website very soon. Stay tuned for that. And also to our young drivers, remember, you're not entitled to drive because you passed your driving test. Okay? The convenience and the freedoms that you receive from driving comes from the privilege of being allowed to operate your vehicle. And that also comes with a bit of public trust from other users of the roads, other drivers, including pedestrians and cyclists. So have your wits about you at all times and get into the habit of monitoring your BRAC. That's it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Check out notyourchild.com/give blood and join our Partners for Life team with blood.ca. Show your support, tag us in a photo, and we will send you one of our single-use breathalyzers. Share the roads responsibly, friends, as we always say. Look out for little ones and school zones. Please, look out for them. Stay tuned tomorrow for our weekly Friday Fun Facts, where we arm you with fun facts about alcohol consumption before you head into the weekend. And remember our golden rule. When you feel different, you drive different. Drive sober. Ciao.